Hi, folks. Welcome to Follow the Leader Presents, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where we can all take the lead. You can find us on Blue Sky at FTLcast and at FTLcast.com. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/FTLcast. Today we're playing Canon Eyes by Jeff Storber. For those of you who are new to the game, I hand it to the author of the game to set the stage.
Greetings, agents! Tonight we're playing Canon Eyes, a storytelling game about building the hidden, interconnected histories of our favorite pop culture properties and using the truth of those histories to save the world. Each time we get together, we're going to explore a fictional world. We're going to pull out our favorite pieces, characters, themes, locations, plot points, and connect them with other worlds to create a fictional universe larger than the sum of its parts. Then we're going to use the strange stories we create to undermine the massive corporation that has kept these worlds under lock and key for 1,000 lifetimes. There's a few ways this game is different than other games we've played. First, there's no game master running the show, but there is a resident expert each session who's mainly here to answer questions that we have about lore, and if they don't have an answer, make something up. Secondly, the game is written to use real-world pieces of pop culture, the movies, games, books, stories that we at the table are really passionate about. And finally, this is a game that doesn't explicitly wrap up when we end at the end of the night. In between sessions, we're going to explore new worlds on our own, which is a fancy way of saying we're going to finally read that book, watch that movie, or play that game our friend has been telling us to play for ages. So there you have it, agents. If you've made it this far, you are a Canon Eye now. There is an evil corporation keeping the world boring. Let's get out there and blow it up with knowledge.
I'm Beetlejuice, and you can find me by saying my name 3 times. It must be spoken unbroken, and my pronouns are he, him. Playing with me today, we have August.
Hello, I'm August. You can find me on Tumblr at Strange Harpy or on Blue Sky at Harpydora. My pronouns are they, them. To summon me, just write some Cass Audi. I'd love it if you wrote some Cass Audi or drew some Cass Audi for me, and I will be there.
Mac.
That's me. I'm Mac. I'm trying to think about the best way that you can summon me. It's not saying my name because I have reliably proven that I can't hear shit. I don't know. Put some episodes of Kamen Rider O's into the middle of a circle. I am thinking about Kamen Rider at the time that we are recording this, and I'll probably make my way there eventually.
Jeff.
My name's Jeff Stormer. My pronouns are he and his. I'm the Great Clown Pagliacci of Tabletop RPGs and Streams. And if you'd like to summon me, you can, much like Beetlejuice, you can speak my name, but more specifically, you can speak my name onto social media. One of my many vanity search tags will find it, and I will see it, and I will respond. Mark my goddamn words.
Jade.
Hello, I'm Jade. I also go by Coda. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me vaguely around on the internet at Jade_Rose. If you're trying to summon me, I recommend using cans of Relentless Origin on the corners of your pentagram, and some form of donuts is usually an acceptable offering. And I do want to know that I'm fairly certain that if you are trying to find Jeff in a space, just shout "Go Birds," and you can follow the Marco Polo-esque return call to find him in a room.
Go Birds.
And Danielle. Hi, I'm Danielle. I've been here the whole time. You can find me on the internet at RedTailTalk90. My pronouns are she, they. And if you want to summon me, say an incorrect bird fact.
I knew that you were going to do it because of the way that BJ said Jade's name. I was like, that is not a conclusive, that is not the end of a list. And it still made me laugh.
Our lines, things that we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, anti-Semitism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, unwanted pregnancy, plagues, and pandemics. Our veils, things that we're fine with addressing but will fade to black on, are steamy situations, graphic descriptions of bodily harm, and terminal illness. Content warnings for the media we're covering today include mild to moderate sexual harassment that is played for laughs, implied past child abuse, coercion of a minor into marriage with an adult demon. It's fine.
It's a green card thing.
It's a green card thing. It's what I've been saying. And recent past death of a parent by implied illness of some kind not shown on stage. Now that we've got all that, let's get started.
Woo! Would you say that it is in fact showtime?
It's showtime.
Beej, you're not going to do the voice the whole time, right?
Listen. I make no promises.
I worry for your vocal cords.
I have water. It's fine.
Okay, jeez. Jesus, forgive me for being worried.
Today we're talking about Beetlejuice the musical, which, is about me. And I'm the resident expert, or whatever it is. So, I'm running the show.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Who are you?
Beetlejuice.
Sorry, I think my audio's fucked up. Could you give me that one more time?
Beetlejuice.
Okay, I think I got just one more time, for the audio editor.
Beetlejuice. I can't
Got
exactly summon myself here. A living person has to do it.
Got it. Okay, just wanted to make sure we got it.
So, many of you have watched many different iterations of this musical. Today we're talking specifically about the one where Beetlejuice is played by Mark Ginsburg and Lydia is played by Amelia Tagliani, which isn't to say you can't bring up the other ones, but, for consistency's sake, I guess. Who goes first?
Well, that's the thing about theater, right? Is that, the same story can be retold so many different times with different interpretations depending on who you have cast to play each character. There was somebody else they had tapped for Labyrinth to play Jareth before they cast David Bowie, right?
Yes, I don't remember who though.
Looking it up.
But there is another film that I am thinking of also. I am looking at our map again, and I am thinking that I understand why we didn't have Jareth on here in the first place, and that is because we do in fact have David Bowie on the board already.
That is correct.
But I'm thinking about other films that I've watched recently where I found out that they had another actor in mind for a character and been like, what would that version of the story have looked like? And I think that theater is the clearest expression of that because understudies and swings and recasting depending on location and tours and all of this sort of stuff is so intrinsically tied into the way that the story is told. Can I immediately just link Beetlejuice the musical to the time loop?
Yeah, do it up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think it already is.
From a purely meta perspective, but there's also something to be said about it being a time loop in general. We will revisit time loops is the connection between Luke, Lester, and Fakir. Okay, that explains it. Where the fuck is the time loop? Isn't there one?
No, there isn't a separate card.
We've got this adaptation. This has happened before. Is I think the closest. You can put put a time loop card on the board.
But the thing is that I do think adaptation / this has happened before is very important when thinking about Beetlejuice the musical, which is an adaptation of a different story. I would argue that that's a different guy, but
It is a different guy.
It is a different guy.
it's a different guy. That's not Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice the movie. That's Beetlejuice from Beetlejuice the musical. And this has happened before. I think that card can apply in the same way that we would interpret these cards, that we can interpret these cards like a spindle wheel card where we only take part of this. I think it would be, I'm gonna let somebody else make the next obvious connection from Beetlejuice. But I think that having this has happened before as the time loop card is fine without putting an explicit time loop card on the board. I'm like, nah, we already got that one. We got it covered.
I was going to say, Danielle or Beetlejuice has been steadily doing lines between Beetlejuice and cards surreptitiously in previous phases of the investigation.
I've usually called them out.
Usually.
So this is completely unreal. This is a complete side note, but also I think I will end by putting a card on the board for this exact thing that is related to what you were talking about, Mac. Originally, the person that they were originally going to cast would have been Sting. They had also considered Michael Jackson, Prince, and Mick Jagger, but Sting was going to be Jim Henson's pick until his kids convinced him that David Bowie would be a better fit.
Incredible.
Bowie wanted to make a children's movie. Also, you have exposed like an actual special interest of mine, like an actual point of obsession of mine, which is in fact almost cast parts is a genuine thing that I constantly think about and constantly imagine the version of movies that are almost made with other actors, and so I am putting
Always
on
fun.
other
Incarnations?
other incarnations. Other incarnation of the same character.
I'm just saying this because I want to hear Jeff talk about it at some point. I do want to hear what the Goblin King, as played by Bruce Springsteen, would be like.
It's a very different movie, but one that I'm deeply obsessed with.
I did not see the connection existing, but admittedly we've got
There's a
whole lot of lines. But I wanted to connect family to Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice the guy.
Yeah. We could also connect it to Beetlejuice the musical because I think there is something to be said about Lydia now has 4 parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree there completely.
It's not a new card, but I am drawing a connection between Beetlejuice the musical and knocking on the fourth wall, though it's not so much knocking on the fourth wall as it is ignoring.
As slamming through it like the Kool-Aid Man?
Very much so.
I was gonna say.
There is no fourth wall there.
I do find it interesting that, like, the fourth wall as a concept, in some ways, I don't want to necessarily say that it originates with theater, but it's the most obvious with theater.
Yeah, no, I believe it does originate with that. Like, the premise of the fourth wall is, like, highlighting it less so, but it's probably Brecht's fault. I'm just saying.
I have drawn a connection point between knocking on the fourth wall and narrative constraints, which is an arm of the corporation, which is to say, allowing...
I believe I also did that.
Great.
We'll do it again.
We're just reinforcing the connection.
The idea that there is this, that you are accepted, that there is an expectation that you will allow in surveillance. The corporation expects that you will accept a degree, like someone is watching you. That is simply an acknowledgement of reality under the corporation, and by knocking on that wall, by calling out that surveillance, by acknowledging, hey, I am not alone in this room. Like you are exposing the corporation and their power.
I am putting on the board the quote, "We invisibles have to stick together." Drawing a direct line to Beetlejuice the Demon, because that is a quote from him that I feel is deeply thematically important to the musical. And there was something else I wanted to connect it to, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, so I'll find that connection and come back to it.
I'm going to put a card on the board.
Mm.
I'm going to put the card on the board, the handbook for the recently deceased.
Yeah!
But I'm also immediately going to draw a connection point back to the corporation.
Mm.
That of enforced normativity, the idea that even in death, there are norms and there is expectation and there is procedure. There is expectation. There is normalcy even in death, and that idea, like, it's all pervasive is how I want to just lay it out there.
The bureaucracy of it all.
The bureaucracy extends even beyond death, and I think that is terrifying.
Yeah. I think I want to connect "We Invisibles Have to Stick Together" to Jet Girl and Rebecca.
I like that.
Because I feel like they're not necessarily invisible, but they're definitely, like, downtrodden in a particular way. So those are the two connections that I wanted to make to that particular card.
I have a wild connection to make.
Hell yeah.
We Invisibles need to stick together. I am saying connects Beetlejuice. I'm connecting it to the card we have on the board, which is Jim Henson, as quite literally to make the show happen, to make a production happen, to make that artwork happen. Some people have to be invisible.
Oh God!
It is a requirement of the job that, you know, if I am puppeteering and I've done my job well,
you don't see them.
Whether I have fully obscured myself or not, I am invisible. And it is only through the cooperation of multiple people making themselves invisible that a puppet production can fully occur.
Yeah. And then, like, you know, obviously connecting it back to the musical, you know, there are stagehands that, you know, we all agree because they're dressed a certain way that they're not, you know, they're quote unquote invisible while they're moving the set around and stuff like that.
It's where we get the trope of ninjas being dressed in black from Kabuki theater.
And I'm going to connect Invisibles to Should You Need Us. Because again, in the context of Labyrinth, that's creatures and people that ostensibly only Sarah can see. And you know, they all offer to stick with her.
I made a connection between Beetlejuice musical and You Can't Enter the Labyrinth and Come Out Unchanged for Lydia's trip to the Netherworld. And I also want to draw, I had a card. This is sort of, and this, I'll probably put this card between Jareth and Beetlejuice, the demon. You want me to be a monster, I'll be a monster. What makes a monster monstrous? It's just like, he's a monster, he's my monster. Versus, you wanted to be scared, I was terrifying. Just being the monster somebody wants you to be or needs you to be. And I think that's what I'm going to put on the card, actually.
I'm pruning my notes because looking back at them, there are a lot of themes that are just riffs on each other that I had written down that can be distilled into other things that we have on the board. So, which just speaks to how thematically focused the musical is. But I do want to put something on the board that I'm actually going to put it kind of close to Pacific Rim, because it's very tied to one of the Pacific Rim cards, and that is the concept of home. And it's tied to the concept of family.
Actually, that's a thing I want to draw a connection between Beetlejuice the musical and what comes after.
It's almost like I put these specific cards on the board with a not vendetta,
Foresight.
Almost.
Gee.
And with all the stuff that we have on the board, I feel like we're gesturing at a hole that's shaped like a girl, so I'm going to put Lydia Dietz on the board. Just because there's so much tied to her in the musical, and I'm immediately connecting her to home, to family, to We Invisibles have to stick together, and obviously to the musical itself. And I feel like last session we didn't really do a whole lot about getting personally involved, but I'm connecting Lydia to Beetlejuice the Demon, and I feel like that's definitely some personal involvement there.
Sure. Yeah.
I came out to have a good time.
Listen, Beej, I can't help that you feel attacked right now.
I have placed 3 cards on the board.
Jeff's been
on each
busy.
of them, I have written in quotations the word Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
This felt like the correct way to put this particular item on the card, at which point I would
Yeah.
draw a connection to one of those cards back to Beetlejuice the musical.
Beautiful.
Well, I think there's something to be said for magic words, right?
Yeah, and I think
Make that connection back to Labyrinth, because it has to be the exact...
Yeah.
Sarah has to say the exact words to get the goblins to come take Toby.
And I'm putting the connection here between Beetlejuice, and That's Not Fair breaking the rules of, like, the idea that there is, like, that there are rule structures in place. Beetlejuice is aware there are rule structures in place, and much of his actions are trying to get people to break those rules, or to follow through on those rules. But, like, there's a manipulation of, like, getting people to follow the rules when they don't fully realize that they are following the rules.
Go ahead, Jade. Jade had something.
Probably. I'm now drawing a line. Come back to me in a sec.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
I am going to draw, I don't know if it's necessarily a wild connection, but I'm going to draw a connection between imperialism / colonialism and We Invisibles have to stick together, because the forces of imperialism and colonialism render so many people invisible.
Oh god, this is across the board, but I am going to draw a connection between that also and queer as in fuck you. Whee! I promise I take this game seriously, okay? I know that I'm constantly here making japes and jokes, but I promise I'm taking this game seriously.
That's the part of, I mean, look, part of the reason the game exists in the way that it does is because it's fun to put string on things, and because it's fun to make a little board and string things together and make a conspiracy board. Like,
yeah. Mac, I'm taking this game seriously, and you know what I did? I made a ray gun that turns puppets into flesh. Like, Come on.
Yeah.
We're all having fun here.
I just feel like everything that I say is a meme or is a meme, or I say something like "wee." You know? Then again, I am the baby of the group, so
As is your right.
by a not insignificant margin.
So I have specifically connected. I may have just redrawn a line on another side, but I've drawn from Beetlejuice the musical to the power of a musical through adaptation. This has happened before to genre is shorthand for magic, because Beetlejuice of the musical knows specifically that he is in a musical and uses the conventions of musicals to make things happen. He manipulates the set. He references ballads. He knows what a soliloquy is and calls out it for being interrupted during one. It is using the conventions of the form he is in to make things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that is why genre is magic. A thing I wanted to pull up, and I think it ties in some to Rebecca. I think it ties in with Sarah, and I think it ties in to subverting the roles we're expected to. But arrested development in the sense of refusing or being unwilling to grow up or follow the expected life trajectory. We have Beetlejuice, who Mark Ginsburg's specifically Beetlejuice does not feel like a teenager, but some of them do. Lydia is very much a teenager, going through the grief of and losing a parent. Sarah, I mean, that whole story is about that being on the cusp of adulthood and what that means. And just either an unwillingness to follow the path, and this comes back, and this ties to queer as fuck. This ties to like family of sorts, and this is an opposing of the corporation in and of itself, but it is like not doing things in the order or at the speed that it is expected of you. There's a great essay by Aronok about queer liminality and how as queer people the timeline we do things on is different. It's a really great essay, but just talking about how if you are not cis or you are not heterosexual, and I think this is true of like various stripes of neurodivergence and physical disabilities, you are not on the same timeline necessarily, because you maybe have to learn things about yourself or get a diagnosis or various other things, and they stop you or force you to take a different path. And the Maitlands too, to be clear, with everyone being like, oh, when are you going to have children? Why are you doing this instead of having children? And again, different Maitlands. Some of them you really do feel like they want to have a baby, and some of them feel like they're being expected to. It really, again, different interpretations of the characters and what that means. And then we're moving into like different ways to be a family, different ways to be a parent. Like Rebecca is absolutely in a parental or protective role of Sam. And it is very different into which the way Delia treats Lydia or Barbara treats Lydia. Like they're very different feeling relationships that have something of maybe a maternal or a parental energy, but also are not the conventional way of doing so.
I've added a card to the board and I've connected it to the corporation because I think it's significant here. I've connected it to imperialism and colonialism. I've added gentrification to the board. I've added that like it's a very big plot that like they wanna undo this, like they want to renovate the house and make a gated community and like alter the neighborhood and like make it more palatable for money. Like that is a very prominent thing that is occurring to the house where all of this is happening, and I think that is a noted tool. And like it ties into a lot of like, it ties into also the other card that I'll put it to is enforced normativity. It is that idea that like we must build removing the individual like existing character of places to fit a prefab mold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna draw a line between the Maitlands and making out with monsters.
Sure, yeah, that tracks. That feels right.
Good. Yes.
Someone put Sarah on the board. Another girl-shaped hole that had been on the board. And I connected her to Lydia while folks were talking about arrested development and being on the cusp of adulthood and being a teenager. And I connected her to Toby, and I think it's very fitting that we're getting closer to unraveling the corporation's power and Sarah appearing on the board later in the game, since she's disappeared in current time.
Mm-hmm.
I also think that it would be worth drawing a connection between... I mean, I think there is a connection between Sarah and family, but if we have something on the board talking about unconventional family, because she and Toby are half siblings, and he's the little brother that she didn't want until he was put in danger, and then she went, oh, nope, that's my little brother, you can't fucking do that. And it is testament that to all of the properties that we've picked, that your family is defined by you has just been put on the board, that everything that we have discussed so far, we can connect that back to Pacific Rim, we can connect that back to Mako and Stacker Pentecost, because they are not biological family either, but they chose each other. They chose each other as family. And Sarah chooses Toby, and Sam and Rebecca choose each other, and the I don't know how to describe what happens between the Dietz and Maitlands by the end of the film. I don't know what to call that, but
a polycule.
That's what AO3 is for. Me high-fiving Danielle across the Atlantic.
Yeah, I mean, no, you're not wrong, but like...
But it is a non-standard family arrangement.
Yes.
To which end I did...
It is queer as fuck!
Yeah, to which end, or tangibly related, connected to both white cishet patriarchy and enforced normativity up as a tool of the corporation. We do have the nuclear family.
I was about to put it on the board, and you started reading it out. I went, great, it is already here.
I have also linked Beetlejuice the Musical to You Can't Put Your Head in the Sand. Change is coming.
Almost literally in some cases. Like, if you put your head in the sand, that's how it gets bitten off by a sandworm.
Where he is. That's not fair, breaking the rules. I want to draw a link to Beetlejuice the Musical, because there are so many rules governing how he has to behave. He weaponizes that sort of language against Lydia when she fucks up. Danielle and I were chatting about this after rewatching last night, about Beetlejuice arguably using the words of his mother and abuser to hurt Lydia. Again, weaponized rules as punishment, tool of the corporation.
I'm putting a card on the board that says Dead Mom, and I'm drawing the connection between it and Lydia, and I believe this is also true of Sarah, right?
No, she's just gone.
No, they're divorced.
They're divorced.
Okay.
Absent mom.
Absent mom. I am not going to draw that connection between it and Beetlejuice, because Beetlejuice just wishes she was absent.
No, he wishes she would love him.
I killed her! What are you talking about?
Boy, I don't know that she's dead.
Let's hang a lampshade on that for what my choice at the end of this session is going to be.
Oh, good, great.
A leg lamp.
It says fragile.
Uh-huh.
I think it's Italian.
So this is tying into a card that we put on the board a little bit ahead of time, but I think it's still appropriate. Other incarnations or interpretations, and I want to tie that to Clark Kent.
Sure.
If I can get Miro to work.
Yeah.
Mac is going
Yes,
to space.
yes.
That was the sound of them taking off.
Yeah, just because, as a peek behind the curtain, listeners, Superman is our next stop, and Jeff has been so kind as to give us, a smorgasbord of things that he feels embody Superman, and that spans over the course of how many years?
Decades, 80 years, I think.
Yeah, and there's, that leaves so much room for interpretation, that leaves so much room for different people to bring different perspectives to the character. And while I personally don't think I'll be able to get through the entire reading list, the things that I have picked, I think are going to be a good selection of different options. So I wanted to go ahead and tie that into Clark Kent while I was thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add another corporation note, and then I need to stop because Jeff has not said anything in like
That's
10
fine.
minutes.
Yeah, I've been building a case, and I finally put some cards on the board because a thing that was said kind of made something click for me that I want to pull on.
Mm-hmm.
I am adding a corporation card, which I think is nebulously corporate and not necessarily always. I think it falls into a gray area where it is exploited by the corporation in a very real way. Archetypes. And I am also getting ahead of myself here. And I'm also going to draw this connection between other incarnations or interpretations of the same character. Because I think this is I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit because I am thinking about Clark Kent, but having a character that is so ubiquitously well known that as long as you are falling within the general quote-unquote archetype, actually, I'm also going to draw this, a connection between that and kaiju. Because I think that there is a common interpretation of some of these characters, etc., that is the fallback in a lot of ways. I did tie archetypes into narrative constraints as well. I don't remember if I said that already. The fallback in a lot of ways when you don't understand something, you go to, okay, what do I think that I know about this? You can connect it into the Maitlands also. What do they immediately go for when they think of ghosts? Sheets.
Mm-hmm.
And Beetlejuice, in a lot of ways, subverts a lot of those expectations, a lot of the archetypes, and he even subverts his own archetype because he's so unlike previous incarnations of himself that, I don't know. I feel like archetypes is generally a fairly not useful, neutral force that is then exploited and manipulated by whatever happens to be using it for its own ends.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked too quickly at gentrification and thought, genreification? Haven't put that on the board yet, but it's getting ever closer. We are getting ever closer to Mac putting genreification on the board.
Do it, you coward.
Fuck. I am going to put genreification on the board, but I am going to put it on the board in the color of Princess Tutu.
Great.
Yeah!
Valid.
So the two cards I put on the board and the connections I made between them, because when you mentioned the sandworm, something popped into my head that I realized I really wanted to make explicit and connects very directly to another point that I think is really important. So I put the sandworm card on the board. A, because I like the sandworm. I think the sandworm is cool, and I dig the sandworm, and I'd like it on the board.
Mm-hmm.
I also put on the board a connection between the sandworm and a card that I've put on the board for Beetlejuice, which is there are worlds beyond this.
Mm-hmm.
In two ways. One, there is the literal thing of like there is the undead, the world of the undead beyond the human world. The other thing is that like the sandworm in Beetlejuice is very deliberately the sandworm from Dune. Like it is specifically like a play on the sandworm from Dune. Like
shit, you're right.
Like they are deliberately comically referencing the sandworm from Dune. Like that is a specific thing that they are doing in the film. And it goes, and by extension, the musical by way of including the sandworm. Like they're doing a thing. But so which means that we exist in a world in which the worlds beyond are being referenced and replicated and homaged and like inserted into the worlds that we live in, means that there is like a bridge point where these worlds can be reached out, even if they are incompatible with one another. There are gateway points where we can reach between those worlds, which is to say, you can reach between our Earth and the desert world of Arrakis by way of like grabbing elements, which I think makes these incompatible futures of the worlds that we are investigating easier to reach between and find things between and take those literal elements and build something more cohesive with them. And so I have drawn the immediate connection point to Labyrinth, but as I'm saying all of this out loud, I am also going to draw a connection point to the Rift, which is to say, like, there are gateways to worlds beyond this one.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
When you said there are worlds beyond this, I immediately was like, the Rift.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the second that I saw that Sandworm was on the board, I did connect it to Kaiju.
Sure, totally.
Yes.
I have connected Beetlejuice the Demon to Muppets.
Mm-hmm.
And I have added to
Have we connected Beetlejuice the Demon to Funny Little Guy
Yes.
I
yet?
believe so.
Okay, good.
And I've also added the card, and this sort of ties into a point we were talking about earlier about events being in the world. But I've got the Wizard of Oz as a touchstone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to tie that to home. Within Beetlejuice, he refers to Lydia as Scarecrow. There's a bunch of the references to the Wizard of Oz in Tank Girl, and I have done a line from Wizard of Oz's touchstone to Superman.
Mm-hmm.
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 Because you gotta. But there's something about Wizard of Oz and the way it is so... It's so culturally poignant that it... Unless it exists, a story so significant it exists in all universes almost is something. But also, the Wizard of Oz in and of itself is a girl goes on a journey, a magical journey, and comes home. I mean, isn't Labyrinth just like another? She meets like 3 different people. She meets a coward, and the people we meet. Just like, oh, and you were there, and you were there, and you were there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things that the more you start pulling on that thread, you realize you got a skein going on. Like, it just keeps going.
Should we link it to archetypes then as well?
I also drew a connection to There Are Worlds Beyond This because it is very literally a story where a girl goes through a portal to a different world.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep.
Yes, draw a connection to archetypes. And I don't necessarily think that, the Wizard of Oz is not necessarily the example of a,
Agreed.
I'm going to say this, you are going to laugh, don't worry about it. The Wizard of Oz is not the example of an isekai,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. No, it's definitely not. Those stories have existed for thousands of years. But...
It is funny to say, though.
It is... What?
It is funny to say, though.
Well, it's funny to say, but my point is that it is such a ubiquitous one.
Yes, agreed.
So regardless of whether or not it's the first, it is well known enough that it does draw connections between all of these I am not going to put Dorothy Gale onto the board. Although now I am imagining the Sarah, Tank Girl, Lydia Dietz, Dorothy Gale team up, and throw Makomori
Plus
into
Makomori. Red shoes, baby.
throw Makomori into the mix as well.
Red shoes.
Hey, this is an interstitial party. Jeff, write this down.
This has turned into interstitial so quickly. I don't think we noticed it.
I'm going to put all of these people into Crosstown and no one can stop me.
Good. Do it. Do it up.
Yeah. I think that's the end of my thought. About the Wizard of Oz.
Good thought.
But it is my point is, yes, it does cross into archetypes in a very real way.
I'm drawing a couple of lines here. Again, because we originally had these girl-shaped holes in our board, and now these girls are here. We talked briefly previously about Lydia and Sarah both asking for help, and that's how asking for help got on the board. I think another connection between Lydia is human connection. / drift compatibility. I don't know who she's drift compatible with, but I think she craves that kind of connection, and that's why she befriends Beetlejuice, because they're both craving that connection that they're not getting from other people in their lives.
We Invisibles have to stick together again.
Yep.
To that end, tying off of We Invisibles have to stick together, tying it to Beetlejuice the Musical, and Danielle is now currently tying it to other things. Thank you. You can see me, being seen as we are and loved for it.
Yeah, I connected it to queer as in fuck you. I'm also going to connect it to the power of love.
Yeah, I need to connect it to the Rippers.
I'm going to write down all of the ones that y'all are putting down that are making me suck air through my teeth. And as we go through Princess Tutu, I'm going to check them off one by one. And then if any that we don't draw lines between, I will draw the lines between. I have added a card to the corporation. The card is the fridge.
Very good.
I am also going to, as soon as I get rid of this arrow that I accidentally did not draw, I am also going to draw that connection between that and absent moms. We have talked so much about the girl-shaped holes on our board that it feels wrong to not weaponize. Oops, that's not where I wanted to put that. It feels wrong to not put that as a tool that the corporation is using against us.
Oh, yeah. Agreed. Well, I'm going to tie You Can See Me being seen for what we are and loved for it to the monster someone wants / needs you to be.
Tie it into making out with monsters also.
Oh, yeah. No, they're just a long way apart, so I've got to have to go around the houses. But that is good.
Just go straight through and then send it back. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine.
But I like going around the houses. It is fun to do these weird little loops around, and most of them are to do with making out with monsters. Speaking of, I did tie making out with monsters to Superman. FYI.
Good.
Just did that a bit ago.
This is a silly one and potentially inconsequential. I know we've got Sandworm tied to Kaiju, but in the production, the Sandworm is a puppet.
Yes.
So I am tying the Sandworm to Muppets.
Very good.
Yeah!
Correct and good.
The Sandworm is a Muppet!
Yeah. No further notes on that one. It's just, it feels wrong not to include the Sandworm as a Muppet, given how it's portrayed on the stage.
Danielle, did you already take making out with monsters from where I was, or is that another one that's connected?
I didn't, because you said you were having fun with the moving it around the thing.
I did, and I stand by that. But I wanted to check.
I didn't want to take the fun away from you.
I appreciate you and everything you do for me.
Who added in this corner, he's a monster, he's my monster?
Oh, I did. That was me.
Yeah, that was part of their whole
why
little thing there.
Okay,
Spiel.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Is this enough of around the houses? Sure. Sure it is. Just don't mind me. Yeah, because I also put the line, you wanted to be scared, I was terrifying, in blue for Labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put the whole being dead thing on here.
You know.
I had that one in my notes too.
And I'm actually going to connect it with the things that are inhuman are the most human. So I have been a musical nerd for a long time. And I have been off of that train for a little while, but when I was still very into it as a kid, well, as a younger me, I got into assassins. And I remember reading something about Assassins is just a musical about the different assassins and their assassination attempts against presidents in the United States.
On the presidents. Yeah.
But I read something about the making of Assassins and how for a while it felt unfinished until they added the song Something Just Broke, which is from the perspective of the American people. And it feels like a weird sentiment in this day and age, but it adds a human impact to these things of like how these assassins weren't just affecting the lives of the presidents, but also like an assassination is also a political statement, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to get too into it, but the sentiment of like that this song added a sense of humanity to the whole production and kind of tied it together. I really think that what I know now serves a similar purpose in Beetlejuice, because we get a lot of kind of making fun of the dead and jokes, because Beetlejuice as a demon has a whole lot of jokes and a different perspective on things and a very flippant way of talking about killing people. And we see the Maitlands, who are kind of like still even dead, stuck in their home and stuck in their kind of way of life. They aren't really experiencing a lot of what it is to be dead in this world. But when we go into the netherworld and we see all of the newly deads, we really get a perspective of everything that Lydia is kind of giving up in staying in the past and staying looking backwards towards her mom, kind of. I don't know, there's like a whole thing there that I think about a lot in the whole being dead thing and the humanity that these ghosts add to the narrative.
Yeah. That leads me to add another, I want to add, I don't know what color to make this. I think I'm gonna make this another just ubiquitous card like I did with Pacific Rim's Muppets. And tie this into a bunch of stuff. The ensemble. The background, not the background characters exactly, but
the supporting cast.
The supporting cast, which ties into Muppets, it ties into the Rippers, it ties into Pacific Rim a little bit. We don't really have a card for the other pilots who are in the background of Pacific Rim, but they are there. in a very real way. I'm gonna figure out how to draw lines.
I also
I'm
tied
trying
it.
to remember how to do this.
I tied it to we invisibles have to stick together.
Yes. That Ripper's line is not but this was the thing that came to mind when you were talking. Motherfucker. That was your line. Where's my line? That was the thing that came to mind while you were talking about while you were talking at that point, Danielle. Just the role of the ensemble. The world is not a vacuum, and it never has been. Where the fuck are the Muppets? There's the Muppets.
We should put a border around the Muppets card, frankly, or a frame on it, considering how much it's one of those load-bearing ones.
Load-bearing. Put a load-bearing frame around the Muppets and a load-bearing frame around funny little guy.
Yeah. I would like to connect your family is defined by you directly to Beetlejuice the demon. I think it's fitting that be connected to him because of the parallels between himself and Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it feels like they should both be tied to that.
I'm connecting the whole being dead thing with the handbook for the recently deceased because they are intrinsic to one another. And there are worlds beyond this as well.
You could connect the ensemble to there are worlds beyond this also if you take the interpretation of there are worlds beyond this as there is a world beyond your story, etc., etc. And I am going to take that interpretation for a moment. I have added the world is not a vacuum to the ensemble card as well.
Mm-hmm.
Permission to do something indulgent?
Always. That's the name of the game.
I thought it was canonized, but never mind. I would like... Hey! Sorry, that was very stupid. Anyway, I want to tie TB Buckler to the whole being dead thing. You know, lives after lives lived.
Can I tie friends to the Maitlands?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel we're going around the houses a little bit. Because I feel like, you know, that's part of their arc is them befriending Lydia and eventually the Dietzes as a whole. And, you know, it's partially your family is defined by you as well, but it's an unexpected friendship because they start out wanting to eject the Dietzes from the house.
I've bridged your family is defined by you to human connection drift compatibility. The idea that, like, you choose the people that you are connected to, and in turn that you choose the people you are connected to, and by building that connection, you are building like a shared connection that has an immense, almost at times magical power.
Hell yeah.
I have added I forgot what the fuck we were calling this. The card. When is a monster not a monster to the board? And linked it with he's a monster, he's my monster. I've linked it with Beetlejuice, and I've linked it with sometimes the things that are inhuman are the most human. In both the really sappy, shippy way that in both that way and also the way that, like, when a monster is doing the things that you want it to do, you're less likely to view it as a monster.
Yeah.
Which I think will link back to the corporation somehow. Figure that out. Enforce normativity, maybe.
I suppose it's like a flip version of subverting the roles. It's like playing the roles we meant to. How do we feel about, I know we have some memes about putting a song or a link to a specific song.
Yes.
Yeah,
To,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know how to do it, but I want to add My Demons by Starset.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's on my playlist.
It's just...
It's a good song, Brent.
But the thing is, so many of these characters are like suffering from trauma or view themselves in certain ways, or we have literal demons, or we have manifestations of puberty or grief or metaphors for climate change. Like there's so many things about battling either ourselves or the things we hate about ourselves made manifest in something outside us. It feels apt. Apt.
Now you're making me want to listen to the song, but I'm not going to be able to do that while we're still recording, so...
I'm so sorry.
So I have another connection, which will take a little bit of explanation, but I'm linking Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice to Fear Me, Love Me, Do As I Say, and I Will Be Your Slave.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
Get it. Totally see it.
No, I'm with you.
Yep, see that.
Just because Beetlejuice explicitly offers his services to Lydia if she says his name, and if she cooperates, he will continue to be the person that he promised to be.
I can't find the card. I think it's probably a Pacific Rim one. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Can we tie Fighting Something Bigger Than You to Beetlejuice? The musical. Sandworms, your mother, your trauma.
Death.
Yep, death.
Adulting.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Just call us out. Just call us out as millennials to all the listeners.
Seeing if I've got anything else. I don't know if I do.
The thing for me is that I have a bunch of other stuff, but I don't know if it's just me thinking about Beetlejuice the musical. Hi, Mac the lighting designer is over in this corner going,
Oh, right. That reminds me. I do need to draw the link between Beetlejuice and Mood Ring Hair. Thank you.
I was going to say, hold on a second. I thought of it like 20 minutes ago. I didn't say anything. Because we were busy having an in-depth conversation.
Yep.
Mood Ring Hair ended up on the board for a
Exactly.
reason.
Oh, I remember the other one I wanted to link to Beetlejuice, 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 and that was Should You Need Us, Just Call.
Yeah.
And in a very literal sense.
Oh, I actually would like to make a connection, not to Beetlejuice, but you saying that has prompted a different connection that I think is, where do I want to connect this with? I'm gonna connect this with, see if I can get this. Where is that? Where is call? Where is that card at?
If you can, should you need us, just call.
There it is, right there. Did we already make the connection between that and the invincible bond between pilot and machine because Tank Girl whistles?
Oh, yep. No, we did not.
Tank Girl whistles and the tank arrives, and there is a sense of like summoning the thing that I think is incredibly potent, and I think also speaks to speaks to the saying the name 3 times. There's something there.
I have put Charles Dietz on the board, and I am connecting him to Lydia and the musical, but also to You Can't Put Your Head in the Sand, and Carry Your Heart in Your Hands.
Good shot. Oh, we need to connect the junkyard Lost in the Abyss to Lydia.
Yeah.
There's literally a lyric in Home about being lost in the abyss.
Again, a card I put on the board knowing where I was going. And I think I linked that to Chasing the Rabbit Lost in the
I
Abyss.
think you did.
I think I see the blue line there. Under all of this other.
There's a lot of lines. There's a
a lot of
lines.
lines.
Yeah, that's one thing. If you have any space in the game for like tips for play, just like use as
Yes, I
different
did.
color strings as possible
Yes.
for your properties.
Yeah.
Because there is going to be a lot of them.
There's going to be a lot of lines.
I think we're playing this game correctly.
I think it's a pass for me. I don't think I've got anything else I want to flag for.
Let me see if this connection has already been made. I see a line that could be it, but I'm having a hard time isolating it.
I say talk through it, and then if we've already made the line, with one of us will call it out, or if not, we'll make the line.
Is there a line between Beetlejuice and Jareth?
Yeah.
No, I don't think.
well-
Is there?
I don't think that there's not a direct line, but there is. They are linked through the monster someone wants / needs you to be. They're connected
Okay.
via that.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with leaving it at that. In this case, I also want to tie Beej to David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
Because they occupy the same space in their musicals, in their respective musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Being the over the top kind of maestro of the whole thing. Like, he even says, at the beginning, I'll be your guide to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Jareth is kind of the guide to the labyrinth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Or, well, David Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm making that connection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now I'm imagining Beetlejuice as played by David Bowie.
Oh my god.
Christ.
We already have the other incarnations tied there. So
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah,
we're good on that one. I think that's my last one that I see right now.
Can we draw just a direct line between Beetlejuice the Demon and Newt Geisler, if only because of how they sound?
Sure. Yeah. There's a common energy there.
To put it mildly.
I am on it.
An energy that should be studied.
A line has been drawn.
All right. Any more things to flag, or are we time for
Not for me.
None for me.
None for me.
Sounds like we're good.
All right, then we go into the next phase of the game where we use all of the knowledge that we've gained to stick it to the corporation.
Mm-hmm.
We throw it to our resident expert. Look over the board, look over the cards, look over the connections that we've made. Talk to us about how the corporation has suppressed this knowledge, or what their big plot is that uses the information that we have unearthed. What have we discovered? What are we organizing to fight today?
All right, so I have put Juno on the board.
Mm.
And I have the corporation attacking through her. There are worlds beyond these. Because the reason why Beej is involved in this investigation is because when he returned to the Netherworld, he noticed that the doors to and from the Netherworld were getting a little weird and popping up in a whole bunch of different places that maybe they weren't supposed to before, had never gone to before. And he decided to figure out what that was all about. And I think the corporation is using Juno to create new links. Like, they're not trying to sever the links between these worlds, but they're trying to infiltrate these other worlds and spread their reach farther.
Mm.
Taking a back route.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, then now we throw it to each other investigator. Talk to us about one of the cards on the board, one of the ways that we are going to stop this. We have the tools in front of us. How are we going to fight back against the corporation?
I got one.
Go for it.
Sandworm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sandworm.
Yeah.
Just eat her again.
Just the notion, like, we befriend the sandworms. We know that in the heart of every Muppet, inside a kaiju is a person, is a heart. They are going to help us patrol the space between worlds and get them.
Mm-hmm.
And make their life harder. Because if you're going to try and fucking sneak about, you can deal with one of the best guard dogs known to the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
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 I'm sorry if I stole your idea.
No, you're good. I have another thought, and I'm trying to figure out. I need somebody else to go first because I'm trying to link my thoughts together here. I know what I think I'm doing, but
So I'm a little torn because part of me wants to use Beetlejuice the demon, and part of me wants to use Beetlejuice, because at the very least, in the canon, Beej is the driving force behind getting Juno out of the picture.
Uh-huh.
So, is it a matter of the man himself, or is it a matter of someone saying the right words?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And
Say your
so,
right words.
yes, exactly what I was thinking. I think I'm going to go with Beetlejuice, though.
Mm-hmm.
I have drawn my card. I have drawn my connection. I've taken genre as a shorthand for magic.
Ooh.
Mhm.
You're opening doors to other worlds. It is very much, you are opening the doors to. You have simply adopted the darkness. I was born in it. It is very much you have opened the doors to these worlds expecting to exert your will within them without having learned the rules, right? Without having learned how they function, without having understood the genre conventions, without you are attempting to apply a template to things that play by different rules, and we have taken the time to understand those rules. We that know how to play the game on the field that we are playing on, using that power to our advantage, and where these doors open and where these corporation bureaucrats walk through, we are ready with weapons and magic and power that is rooted in the place that we are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Home field advantage every time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Related to that, I am drawing a connection between two things here, which is both you have no power over me and reality and fiction blurred as one, which I think is
Mm-hmm.
the thought is the same. The reality and fiction blurred as one means you have no power over me, in a very similar sense to genre is a shorthand for magic, in a sense to genreification as well. I could draw a line all the way across this fucking mind map from genreification. In fact, I think I am going to do that.
Beautiful.
Right
Beautiful.
now?
Do it.
Yeah, then you can just send the line to the back. Just make it a slightly thicker line. There we go. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got it. In the sense of, like, again, like, you are not the one who is in. You think that you are the one who is in control of the situation, but you are only operating under the rules of one single world. And between us, we can do bigger and better than that. Like, come on, man. I'm thinking about interstitial infinity again.
Sure, of
Mhm.
course.
I am always thinking about interstitial infinity. Don't get me wrong.
We know
but
this about you and we love you.
I am breaking my own set of rules here and drawing one additional weapon in our arsenal and drawing a 2-piece chain that connects back to our plot.
Yes!
Yeah, all right, that's not what I wanted
Which one?
to do. Hold on.
Which one?
There we go.
I see what you're doing, Jeff. Yes! That's awesome.
The same characters appear on world after world after world, which means that we find their weaknesses and we bring those to the forefront, and we are ready to fight every fight that comes to the multiverse by finding those archetypal figures that will terrorize the corporation in this endeavor, by way of saying the Wizard of Oz is a touchstone bridge to other interpretations of the same character, bridging back to our corporate plot of we will find what is the sandworm on every world that we exist in.
Yes. Perfect. Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It bears repeating. This is a really fucking good game.
I like this game a lot.
I am going to draw a line from we Invisibles have to stick together to your family is defined by you to attack Juno. Because the thing that Juno can never understand is family.
So true, bestie.
And only by working together can the disadvantaged actually stand up to those in power.
Fighting something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's the power of love.
Mm-hmm.
Huey Lewis in the News starts playing.
Man, we sure got Juno.
Got her
That bitch is
ass.
fucked. Ugh.
She fucking dead.
Again. Every
More
version of
dead.
her. In every
For like the
world.
4th time?
Mm-hmm.
Got her ass.
Tangibly related, Juno, and it's probably just the way the character's written and the performance, but Juno does feel so Roz from Monsters Inc. coded
Yes.
to me.
She does.
And then I'm just thinking about lots of doors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Is that the investigation?
So that is our investigation, which means that now we look ahead to what we are. Hold on, let me pull up my list as I begin to tell us what we are exploring and investigating next time.
Mm-hmm.
In our next investigation, we will be investigating the character of Superman created by Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. I have provided a reading list. Feel free to go off of this reading list. All Superman media is on the table. I have merely encouraged my fellow investigators to read, watch, listen to, engage with any Superman media that speaks to them. The one thing that I've asked everyone to do, more because I think it's a really fun and weird thing to explore, like where this character's origins are, is Action Comics number 1 from 1938. But a variety of the provided reading list and what I recommend people branch off from as they feel excited to do so. Our cross-media Superman introductory reading list includes Action Comics number 1 from 1938, Action Comics issues 1 through 6 from 2011, All-Star Superman issues 1 through 12, Superman Birthright, Superman for All Seasons, Superman Smashes the Klan, Superman, directed by James Gunn in 2025, Superman the Movie, directed by Richard Donner in 1978, Superman 2 The Donner Cut, directed in 1980, also by Richard Donner, Superman and Lois, episodes 1 through 4, Superman the Animated Series, episodes 1 through 3, Superman vs. the Elite, the animated film, Hitman, issue 34 of the I Sing, For the Man Who Has Everything, which is Superman Annual number 11 from 1985, written by Alan Moore, and Superman Justice League Unlimited, season 1, episode 2, For the Man Who Has Everything. I might add things to this list. I might not. We'll see. I've just been throwing things on here as I think of them, but I think this is a baseline of options for you to engage with. None of us, I expect, to engage with all of these things, but we will dive in and explore the character of Superman and the worlds that he inhabits next investigation.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Till next time, investigators. Good luck.
Till next time, investigators.